Okay, so sorry I got cut off before. We get 0.06 equals 0.15x. Okay, and then divide by 0.15 on both sides, and you get x equals 4. Okay, and what this means is that at 4 weeks they have the same price, but we need to find out what that price actually is because the answer choices are in money. So you can use either equation, it doesn't matter. And let's just realize and recall that this is a system of equations using substitution. So it doesn't seem like most of the systems that we've done before, but it is. So we get 2.35 plus 1, which gives us 3.35. Okay, so good systems of equations. Specifying which variable they want you to solve for is important. And there was just a lot going on here, but great question. All right, number 12, a line in the XY plane passes through the origin, meaning that if we're talking about a line, this is linear, and most likely I'll be talking about point slope form, slope intercept form, something like that. So I'm going to write down what I'm given. I'm given a point, 0, 0, the origin, and a slope of 1/7. Which of the following points lies on the line? Okay, well, I know that in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Well, b is 0. The line is y equals 1/7 x. So if we plug in 0 for x, you should get y is 0. Okay, so that doesn't work. If you plug in 1 for x, you should get y equals 1/7. That doesn't work. Here we plug in 7 for x and you get y equals 1. That doesn't work. For D, plug in 14. 1/7 times 14 and you get y is 2, which works here. When you plug in 14, you get 2. So that's choice D. No tricks there, just using linear functions. Okay, number 13. If x is greater than 3, which of the following is equivalent to this expression? So what you want to do is simplify, and the original one, we haven't learned about this yet, so there's a lot of knowledge that you're probably missing. I'm going to do the problem now. If you understand it, great, and if you don't, we can definitely go over it later in the year. So what we're going to do is multiply by x plus 2 and x plus 3 so that we cancel out the denominators. So my numerator is going to be x plus 2 times x plus 3. Here, it'll be x plus 2, x plus 3 over x plus 2 plus x plus 2 times x plus 3 over x plus 3. Every numerator gets multiplied by this because that's how we multiply fractions. So these cancel, and I'm left with x plus 2, x plus 3 over x plus 3 plus x plus 2, which is x plus 2, x plus 3 is 2x plus 5. Okay, so the original expression looks like that. And the reason I did that was just to simplify. And I also know that x squared plus 5x plus 6 can be written as x plus 2, x plus 3 if you're factoring, or the opposite of FOILing. So this problem can be written like this. So we notice that that is the reciprocal of the other expression. So which of the following is equivalent? They're definitely not equivalent because they're actually reciprocals. This one, if you factor it, x plus 2, x plus 3 over 2x plus 5, they are exactly equal. So what I did in B was factor the numerator to be x plus 2, x plus 3, and in factoring, if you do know about factoring, what you're trying to do is see what multiplies to 6 and adds to 5, and that's positive 3 and positive 2. So that's how we got the numerator. And then in the original, the process that we used there was to simplify complex fractions. So it's actually two totally different topics, but we end up getting that they're equivalent. Now, the confusing part may be this statement right here. Only reason that they say that is because if we don't want the denominator to be 0, then you need to state what would make it 0. So they're just saying that it's a large positive number, definitely bigger than 3. Okay, so that's 13. Let's look at 14. If 3x minus y equals 12, what is the value of 8 to the x over 2 to the y? Okay, so what we can do here, and you know, when I look at these problems, they're nothing I've ever seen before. I've never seen a lot of the problems on the SAT because, again, they really make unique problems. So the thought process and the critical thinking skills that I'm using is what we're trying to teach you. It's not necessarily math. It's more how do I work through problems that I've never seen before. So what I'm going to do, because this has two variables in it, is use substitution, solve for y here, and replace it with the y that's in the expression so that I only have one variable. So 3x minus y equals 12. If I subtract 3x from both sides, I get negative y equals negative 3x plus 12. Divide by negative 1. And that gives you 3x minus 12. Okay, so everywhere in the numerator that you see a y, in the denominator, you're going to put a 3x minus 12. So let's write that out. 8 to the x over 2 to the 3x minus 12. And the reason that we did that was so that we had only one variable. Okay. Another thing that we are actually going to learn about next chapter is the fact that I can rewrite 8 as 2 to the third. Okay. And the reason that I did that is so that they have the same base, which is 2. Okay, give me 1 second. We don't want any of this. We didn't do this one yet. And we were here. Okay, so I ended up subtracting my exponents because of the quotient rule. Okay, and the quotient rule says that when two of the same base are being divided, you subtract your exponents. You distribute the negative and get 3x minus 3x plus 12, which cancels out and leaves you with 2 to the 12, which is choice A. Okay. Number 15 says if ax squared, or ax plus 2 times bx plus 7 equals 15x squared plus cx plus 14 for all values of x, and a plus b equals 8, what are the two possible values for c? So what you would do here is FOIL the original, and you would get abx squared, ax times 7, 2 times bx, and 2 times 7. Okay, and as confusing as that might look, what we do notice here is that the only x squared term is 15x squared, and in our polynomial where we're missing information, it's abx squared. So what that tells me is that a times b needs to be 15, right? Well, what are the options for a times b? 1 times 15 or 3 times 5, okay? Which is choice A. And they also tell me that a plus b equals 8. Well, that's true. We know that 5 plus 3 is 8. Okay, so make sure that you check your work on all of these. What I would do if you're ever practicing for SAT is to make a list of the topics that you needed to know in order to complete these problems. Because if you're missing the knowledge from your math class, then we need to work on that and study those topics. So like, for example, here, this foiling, and then obviously more difficult process in foiling, but all it is foiling. Okay.